Three generations from wealth back to the poorhouse. It's a worldwide statistic, 90%, three generations. In Asia, this is known as three generations from rice paddy to rice paddy. A very daunting statistic about wealth transfer, one that we're going to dive into today. And I'm going to talk about two primary reasons why the majority of estate plans are potentially sabotaged from the outset, and especially wealth transfer plans, why they could have a monkey in the wrench that can defeat the whole plan because of something that just simply wasn't focused on. So the first reason why this is such a problem with estate planning and wealth transfer is a simple question of economics. Right. And it has to do with law firm operations, law firm expertise. So you want to think about a law firm, right? And this is something that I know something about because I was a principal in an estate planning law practice, my own practice that I founded for over 15 years. And I can tell you that as we would have a request for a trust or a will, we were focusing on the documents themselves, and we would get a little bit over here, right? We're going to talk about, well, who's going to be your executor, who's going to be your trustee. Oftentimes, sadly, this is as far as it gets. There's not an opportunity with any meaningful discussions to determine whether somebody may be a bad choice. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the people in a second. But the problem is law firms have documents and a goal, which is primarily monetary. So the first reason that this is a problem is a lack of emphasis in other areas. And this is why every estate plan needs to be about more than money. Coming into a time where coaching, where expertise on the relationships, on the strengths, aspirations of the people are going to be a critical element to estate planning. But before we get there, the second reason why a lot of plans are doomed from the outset is because they're not defining values. And what I mean by that is, what's your definition of wealth? What are your priorities? I bet as a principal, you have a fair amount of clarity around this for you. How is this being communicated to the emerging generation? A guy named Ken Costa wrote a book called 100 Trillion Wealth Transfer. We're in the middle of this right now. He believes, and I tend to agree with him, that this is essential for the future of our free market system, not to mention the success of your company. So when we get over here, before we get over here, we want to talk about values. So there's a couple maybe boilerplate ideas about wealth, right? Is it about assets? Is it about, the things that we accumulate that possibly deliver us the freedom or the resources then to do what we want to do? Is it about, calling? Is it about education? What does it mean to you? Spirituality? There can be a lot of things that can be embodied in what we call a family mission statement or a family constitution. And a lot of the top families in the United States and elsewhere do a pretty good job of this. You think about the Rockefellers. More recently, I'm going to use the Trumps as an example, whether you like them or not. They've done a great job over here looking at developing their human capital. If you look at kids, their involvement in the family business. So this is key. So not doing this, missing these two steps, right? We'll just say 1, 2 is going to lead to gaps, a bunch of other gaps that are going to create a problem in other areas. And we're going to talk more about these in future videos. What we want to do right now is make sure, doesn't matter if you have a plan with a reputable law firm, you want to look at your own plan and think about how holistic is it. Not only and especially if you have a family business. So first question that most educated attorneys will ask is, well, what happens if you can't run the business? You think about the management and things like that. That relates to people as well, right? So what you want to do is you want to get over here. You want to start to link up these categories. You want to start to fill the gaps. First way to do it is just these two areas. If you like this video, give me a like, and also do leave a comment. If you have questions, I'm happy to offer some feedback on it. And I appreciate you joining me today. See you in the next one.